Hey guys, welcome back to the Mental Health Pit Stop, a channel where I provide you quick and easy tips to help you through your journey of life using my expertise as a therapist in the UK. In today's videos, we're going to talk about ways to control our worries and to see what we can do when we're finding things are getting on top. As always, before we dive in, please note that these views are completely my own and at no point should be taken as treatment for any symptoms that you may relate to in this video. If you are experiencing mental health difficulties, I encourage you to talk to your GP or reach out to a mental health professional for further advice and support. So without further ado, if you're an overthinker, you're going to want to watch this. Before asking the question, why do we overthink, we first need to understand where our overthinking comes from. So a better question would be, am I stuck in a negative cycle? Negative cycles are recognized to be unhelpful thoughts and emotions that can drive patterns of behavior that cause us difficulties. For overthinkers, the cycle is likely to reside within the realms of anxiety. However, there are different areas to our anxiety that can cause us to overthink. In this video, we're going to focus on one of these areas, and that is worry. Worry can become a vicious cycle. Simply put, the more you worry, the worse your worry becomes and the more time you will spend worrying. Now, it's important to recognize that worry in and of itself is not a bad thing. Take for an example, an exam, an essay, or an upcoming deadline. In this instance, our worries can act in our best interests. It can motivate or it can even scare us into preparing for it in the most practical way. However, at times where it becomes uncontrollable, such behaviors can lead to excessiveness, which can increase distress and maintain your difficulties. In other words, you may start to visualize all sorts of potential problems and think about lots of negative outcomes. However, you won't put any solutions into action. So now we have a situation where we're overestimating the worry whilst at the same time underestimating your ability to cope with your worries. This is what leads to overthinking. If this is something that you're experiencing, then the chances are you're stuck in the negative cycle of worry. However, there are things we can do to learn to control this. The first step is to identify the type of worry that you're experiencing. Worry can be broken down into two categories: hypothetical and practical. Hypothetical worries focus on future-based events where we may start to think of situations that may occur. Now, you'll find that these worries will be situations that haven't happened, but rather we are predicting to happen. An example of this could be, what if I get fired from my probation meeting? What if I don't make friends at university? Or what if my partner falls out in love with me? The issue with these worries is it's very difficult to think of a solution to an event that has not and may not ever happen. The next type of worries we have is practical worries. Practical worries often affect us in the here and now and when there is a solution readily available, even if we don't want to do it. An example of this could be, I haven't paid the water bill this month. What if that knocking sound coming from my car means trouble? Or I need 2 weeks off work after my operation and I need to speak to my boss. Clearly, these worries are more solvable and can be dealt with through practical means. This is very different from hypothetical worries, as it doesn't focus on what may happen, but rather what is happening in the moment. You can start to understand how we manage these worries using 5 easy steps. Step 1, keep a worry diary. Start by writing down every single worry that you encounter, making sure that you include the time and the date, the situation in which you started to worry, the nature of the worry itself, and finally rating how intense that worry was for you on a scale of 0 to 10. Step 2, determine if your worry is hypothetical or practical. Using the previous rationales, you can determine whether your worry is hypothetical or practical. However, sometimes it can be both. For example, I have a deadline on Friday. What if I don't make it? If this is the case, then focusing on the practical aspect of the worry would be ideal. This is because you'll be focusing on what is happening rather than what may happen in the future. If you'd like me to show you how to deal with your practical worries, leave a comment in the comment section down below and I can discuss in future videos. As for now, we'll assume that your worries are hypothetical. Once you've identified your worries, create another diary for hypothetical worries only. Step 3, dealing with intrusive hypothetical worries. It's sounds counterintuitive, but one of the best things that you can do is acknowledge your worry rather than ignore them. This is because by ignoring your worry, you're giving it a chance to build and fester in your mind, making it more difficult for you to overcome. Consider a ringing phone. Now, what's not advisable is to continue to let the phone ring, especially if you're doing something important. What we may want to do is answer the phone and let the caller know that you're busy for the moment, but you'll call them back later. Try to apply this same logic to your worries. The same way you wouldn't allow your phone to ring whilst occupied, you also shouldn't allow your worries to distract you. Whenever a worried thought appears, rather than dwelling on it immediately, simply note it down in your worry diary and refocus your attention back to the task at hand, telling yourself that you'll come back to it later. By doing this, you'll be training your mind to control these worries, as you'll be postponing it from a time that is more suitable for you. Step 4. Set yourself a time to worry, aka worry time. Set yourself a time every day where you can focus on your worries. Make sure it's a time not too close to bed, but a time that you can stick to, as this will be vital as part of your worry routine. Next, choose an appropriate length of time. This can range between 20 to 30 minutes. You should also plan an activity for you to do after your worry time, as this will help you redirect your focus back to the present. This can include going to shower, going to make food, going for a walk, these types of things. If you notice your mind wandering back to any worries before your worry time has begun, make a note of it in your worry diary and redirect yourself back to the present, telling yourself, I'll focus on you later. It's always great to command yourself as if you were speaking to another person. Trust me, it works. Step 5. Worry time. 5 minutes before your scheduled worry time, you're going to want to locate your worry diary and a timer. Once worry time has begun, you want to begin to start engaging with your worries. Really engage as if they were a real thing. Ask yourself questions such as, how do you feel about it now? Has this changed? How can I make sense of this worry? I'll add a PDF with a list of questions for you to use. Once you have completed asking the question to each and every single worry, or your timer finishes, immediately stop what you're doing and get rid of the diary. If printed, rip it up and throw it away. If on a screen, highlight it and delete. This signals the end of your worry time, and you do not allow yourself to worry until your next scheduled worry time the day after. Now, this is the time for you to refocus your mind back to the present and continue with your day. Or, as previously mentioned, carry out the task that you set yourself to do after worry time. If you find yourself worrying after your worry time has finished, remind yourself to write it in your worry diary and tell yourself that you'll address them later, and refocus your mind back to the present or the task that you were doing. Remember, this exercise is not about ridding yourself of worry, but rather retraining your mind to take control of these worries, not allow them to control you. Thank you for joining me today as we explored the process of managing our worries. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, subscribe already if you haven't, and leave a comment in the comment section down below. As always, stay curious, stay positive, and take small steps towards a healthier mind. Until next time, take care.